Hey, Gwen, long time no see. Hi, John. Thank you. Long time, definitely. Good to see you. Hi, Frida.
Because of you, we're taking part.
It looks like there.
No, I have the microphone
Okay.
part when they came on time.
Good morning, dear.
Light on this critical issue today. And let us remain open-minded and collaborative. And once again, I'd like to provide my warmest welcome to you all. So without further ado, let us begin our event. Our first respectful panelist today is Her Excellency, Ms. Rana Abida. She is the Deputy Ambassador of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The floor is yours. Please tell us about yourself, your work.
Thank you very much. I just want to update that I'm Shaja Defer now. There is an ambassador left, so I am in charge now for the time being.
Oh, wow.
First of all, let me begin by extending a warm welcome to all of you here and convey my deepest regard for you coming together to discuss this pressing drug challenge that is really close to my heart. As a mother of 2 girls, I'm faced with the dark reality that this threat is much closer to all of us than we believe. I would like also to thank the Women Federation for World Peace for their arranging of this meeting. And we have been hearing through this week the term that the drug abuse is a global problem. But this phrase doesn't give credit to the scary escalating rate of this dangerous menace and its catastrophic results on the security and safety of societies and the core bone of its structure, the family. And this brings me to the reason why drugs are more attractive to children and youth. In a Mayo Clinic study on teen drug abuse, it was stated that the teen brain is in process of maturing. At the same time, it is more focused on rewards and taking risks than the adult brain. The teen brain is particularly vulnerable to being rewired by substances that overload the reward circuits in the brain. And many other studies state among the factors that can feed into teen drugs use and misuse, teens' personality, family interactions, teens' comfort with peers. In Jordan, we believe that the family is the main building block of the society, and we always promoted the important role of young people as agents of economic and social development, in addition to upholding traditional beliefs on family ties and extended family relations. This is very important for us, since 1/5 of the population in Jordan is among the youth, in age group between 15 to 24 years. But drug abuse among youth has increased in Jordan, as in the world, especially in the last 10 years at the outset of the Syrian crisis, and when we observe production and cross-border smuggling operations increase in both frequency and sophistication. In 2023, Jordan witnessed arrests of approximately 35,000 people, including dangerous users, dealers, and sellers. Experts believe that ignorance and lack of knowledge about the harms of addiction play a great role in the youth's decision to experience with substance abuse. The family and the surrounding environment, such as bad companions and neighborhood in which they live in, is the second major factor in Jordan. We have a saying in Arabic, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. This sentence describes, in my belief, the reality of entering the world of drug abuse. International figures indicate that 85% of addiction cessation treatment procedures fail, with a success rate in the best international treatment centers reaching 15%. That is why we should exert our efforts on preventing and protecting our children from experiencing with drug abuse. One important factor in fighting drug abuse is youth. In youth is combating misinformation and promoting the sharing of facts on drugs, starting with health risks and available solutions to address the global problem. We need to increase awareness and education programs in schools, media, and all health authorities working with youth and civil society organizations. This is an important role. There is an important role for the family in protecting its children from deviant behavior through counseling, direction, and oversight, creating safe spaces for young people to benefit from programs that occupy their time and work to empower them in all areas. As for the treatment access, Jordan has come a long way in treating addiction to narcotic substances. Addiction treatment services are provided to youth in private hospitals for free. These treatment centers are committed to confidentiality out of respect for their patients. The patients undergo multiple programs to rehabilitate them and restore their self-confidence while practicing different hobbies and activities. At the end, I just want to convey a message that I believe that this couple of weeks were really important to join our efforts, and hopefully it's a very important chance to work for the future together, and I hope that we don't lose this momentum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Abida. I truly believe that prevention is better than cure, and I think that is no undeniable to anybody. I thank you for sharing the data you collected from experiences from Jordan itself, and really appreciate it. So let us move to our next speaker. She is from Philippines. She is attorney Daryll Generyn Migano. She handles matters particularly related to UNODC and UNCITRO. She is from the Permanent Mission of Philippines to Austria. She has a lot of also backgrounds in the bilateral and political and economic relations of Central European countries with the Philippines. Please introduce yourself and talk about your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Sulva. I'm Daryll. I'm from the Philippine Permanent Mission here in Vienna. So to those who are joining us here today, as well as our participants online, let me wish you a good morning. Thank you for the invitation. It is an honor for me to represent the Philippine Embassy and Permanent Mission in today's side event on strengthening resilience in young people towards the misuse of drugs and alcohol, organized by one of the embassy's strong and constant partners, the Women's Federation for World Peace. During her remarks at the high-level segment of the 67th session of the Commission on Narcotic Drugs, UNODC Executive Director Ms. Kadawali recognized that the impact of the world drug problem continues to be devastating. She acknowledged that together, we can promote effective responses that respect the rights and dignity of all. Examples of these effective responses are the focus of this morning's side event, and I wish to extend our congratulations to WFWP for organizing this side event with a timely theme of countering the devastating effects of non-medical use of narcotic drugs through quality education, strengthening communication within the family and among peers, sports and arts programs. One of the major advocacies of the Philippine government, and of course, the embassy, is the protection of children and youth. In fact, this advocacy was highlighted during the 32nd session of the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, or CCPCJ, in May 2023, in which part of the presentation of Justice Secretary Jesus Remulla highlighted the government's works to advance the welfare of our children and youth, especially on the digital environment, the internet. Rest assured that you can count on the Philippine Embassy's continued support to WFWP in our joint pursuit of seeking the advancement of women, children, and youth now and in the future. Finally, I would like to share with you a timeless quote from our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, which up to this day is timely and relevant. The youth is the hope of our future. So on behalf of my ambassador, Ambassador Evangelina Lourdes Bernas, I thank you once again and wish everyone a productive discussion ahead.
Thank you, Attorney Migano. It's a pleasure to have you here. The next up, we have Ms. Gwendoline Tshimbana joining us all the way from New York. She is actually president of Women's Federation for World Peace from South Africa. She has been handling the Mmangwana literacy project with Mrs. Flory Ledwaba. We do believe that quality education is a tool to counter the harmful impacts of misusing drugs, since also Ms. Abida and Attorney Migano, she's also stated that misinformation leads to this problem, and one of the ways is providing education, awareness, and knowledge. So Miss Gwendoline. She will be joining us online. The floor is yours. Please tell us about yourself and your project.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're connecting from. As stated, my name is Gwendoline Tshimbana. I am the president of Women's Federation for World Peace in South Africa. Today my presentation is going to be around the project that we have implemented in South Africa. I wonder if it's going to be beamed live. I would really appreciate that. The presentation, please. Are you sharing the presentation, or should I share it from my side?
Yes, yes, we can see it now.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Can it be, is it going to be beamed live, or should I just talk through it from my side? Thank you.
Miss Gwendoline, pardon, please.
Okay, I'll have to share it from my side.
Please.
Or maybe not even share, I'll just go through it from my side.
Yes, please.
All right, I think there was a misunderstanding there. Just a moment for me. All right, so I'm sorry about this. I misunderstood. I thought it would be beamed from your side. As indicated earlier on, we have implemented a project in Soweto, Brandfisherville, to be able to really counteract the problems that we are facing as a country. But also, as an introduction, I would also like to just indicate as to where this started. The onset of COVID-19 made worse the social challenges that we already have been facing as a country, and especially in the underprivileged communities in the Soweto area. Our engagement with the community after lockdown in 2020 revealed serious risk factors. On engaging with the community, we got to realize that most parents had lost their jobs due to COVID-19. Those who still had their jobs were doing everything to keep them. Schools were implementing rotational learning schedules. Learners were spending most of their time at home. They had lost almost 70% of their pre-pandemic learning. And children were left at home unsupervised to look after their younger siblings because the early childhood center development centers or kindergartens had closed. Being home alone put these young people at risk to sexual predators. So what did we foresee as risk factors? From this situation, we got to realize that, this was going to impact the literacy and numeracy levels of these young people. And we also foresaw a possibility of children dropping out of school and getting involved in drug use. But also other risk factors were a possibility of rape, as I indicated earlier on, that they were left to their own devices, as well as early pregnancy. So what did we see as an intervention in this situation? We saw literacy and numeracy support for the learners as very important. So what was it that we hope to achieve by, coming up with a literacy and numeracy intervention? What we really were looking at doing was to provide a safe, happy, and a loving environment for children to escape their trauma, to build confidence in learning by providing an environment that is non-judgmental, and supplement learning provided by schools through our Saturday learning interventions. But also at the same time, we understood that we cannot take away the responsibilities of the teachers and the parents, but we can provide support, actualizing the African saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. So what challenges did we face in the process? At first, the parents were skeptical about the sustainability of our project, and that translated to about 20% dropout rate in the first year. This has since improved drastically. So what are the outcomes of our interventions? We have had about 1,405 children access our center in the past 2 years. Children who have been consistently coming have grown in confidence. They have significantly improved in their reading and numeracy skills. Learners take responsibility for their learning. We find that they are there much earlier than we are. And that is something that is very great to see, because this was not happening at the beginning. Parents and learners are complimentary about our progress, as complimentary about what we have been doing with them. And we are now being considered as partners in the community. So what is the way forward? We are consistently working to find local and international partners who see value in our work. Its sustainability is dependent on these partnerships. We hope to continue and scale or even scale up our work. We believe by doing so, we can contribute towards the achievement of UN developmental goals, covering such areas as quality education, poverty alleviation, drug and substance abuse, crime prevention, gender equality, as well as women empowerment. This basically concludes my presentation for the day. And thank you so much, especially to Women's Federation for World Peace International, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gwendoline, for joining us from such great distance as well. Next up, we have Ms. Su Hong from UNODC. She is associate expert supporting youth mainstreaming and drug use prevention through Youth Initiative. She also recently began her project. Called Friends in Focus. She has 7 years experience with the Ministry of Government. Her work on narcotics control is very fascinating. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, for giving me the floor and also for the invitation to speak today. I'm also very grateful to see the attendance in this room today, despite it being a very early morning session and also the last day of CND. So thank you for sticking around and the interest in being with us today. And I think I also interpret this, the presence here as support for young people, in particular strengthening their resilience, as is the title of the side event. But I think that this support should not just stop with building resilience in the youth, but also supporting them exert this positive influence upon their peers as well. Which actually brings me to my presentation, which I think is being pulled up, where I'll be introducing some initiatives at UNODC where we try to work with and for young people in the area of drug use prevention, so that they can help their peers and their friends become resilient as well. If you can bear with us for just a moment. Thank you. So at UNODC, we started to promote a culture of prevention that is aligned with evidence, with prevention science. And this is when we engage with member states, when we work with counterparts in the field, when we also engage with international partners or other civil society partners. And I hope that some of us here in the room and or many of us are familiar with the international standards on drug use prevention that is shown on the screen here, which summarizes the science and evidence of what works and what does not work in prevention. But then you might ask, why prevention science? And to put it simply, it's because we need prevention that works. And because the resources are not infinite, I think most of us would agree that we want to invest resources in strategies and activities that bring effectiveness to the work that we do. But what is also good news is that evidence-based prevention strategies are not only effective in preventing drug use, they are also effective in preventing other violence or other risky behaviors as well. And so at UNODC, we've availed family-based prevention programs that are available in the public domain. And these are meant to support better family functioning so that the child can grow up in a supportive, warm, caring environment where he or she has that positive, healthy attachment to their parent and caregivers so that the child can grow up healthy and safe. And so here are the two programs that UNODC has developed and has availed. And so we've covered the family base. We're targeting the parents and the children, but then what about youths? And at UNODC, to support youth, we operate a youth initiative that is meant to support youth in advocacy efforts on prevention, for them to learn about what is effective prevention, and for them to be empowered to also support back within and contribute back within their communities, and also to support them in mainstream youth perspectives in various sessions such as the CND. And I'll give a little bit more explanation when we get to the slide. And so this youth initiative has been operational since 2012. It was initiated as a platform for youth to share their experiences, their ideas, their creativities, and to also get support for their own prevention activities as well. And so there are two main tracks where we try to support youth. The first is the Youth Forum, and the second is the DAPC Grants Program. And with the Youth Forum, we actually just held it last week on the sidelines of CNB, but the Youth Forum aims to connect, engage, and empower young people within the field of drug prevention so that they can better protect the health of themselves, but also their peers. And so we try to support youth in learning and understanding about what is effective evidence-based prevention. And also we hope that it connects them with other young people from other parts of the world who are active, who are interested in prevention work, so that they can become their own support networks and resources as well. And also through the Youth Forum, the youth have the opportunity to bring their voices to the global making arena through the drafting of a joint statement that they make together and is delivered during the plenary of CND. And then just to quickly say that the second track that we have is a grants program, which is a mechanism that can directly fund youth-centered prevention projects in low and middle-income countries. But then we were thinking, because it had become that we had reached that sort of 10-year mark with the youth initiative, and we were thinking of how can we better support youth in being beyond advocates of prevention messaging? How can we provide more practical resources and tools for them to be active and engaged? And so that actually brings us to where we are now, where we are developing this new peer-to-peer program for youth so that they can become also leaders within prevention efforts in their communities. And so before embarking on this journey, we had done a little bit of research, but we found that there weren't so many peer-to-peer programs that were targeting the older adolescent age group, but that were also in the public domain. And so we decided to develop, UNODC decided to develop this peer-to-peer prevention program that is youth-focused in the hopes that it would provide the opportunity and also the tool for youth to be more easily and more actively engaged in prevention efforts within their homes. And so with this new program, we really look forward to having and helping youth to be the implementers, the main actors of prevention projects and activities, and to be really engaged throughout the whole process. So from the development, the implementation, and also the evaluation. And it really continues to build on the concept of doing things with youth and not just through youth, to have them also be involved in the process as well. And it also builds on the idea of having them as the transformative power in them and support them in becoming the change makers in their communities as well. And so this new program is being spearheaded under the name of Friends in Focus. It is based on a format of cascade trainings of youth, so trainings from peers to their peers or friends. And so here on the screen, you see the overall phases of the program. On the very left, you have phase 1, where the master trainer, the person in the yellow there, is training a group of peer trainers or peer leaders on a series of sessions, interactive sessions that they're meant to then go on to relate to their other friends. And so the peer trainer who is trained, that will be the person in red, would then go on in phase 2 to gather also a group of peers who are perhaps a little younger than the peer trainer. And then they would be training on delivering these sessions that they were trained on further to their peers. And then it is our hope that through the last phase, that the trained peers then go on to talk to their friends, within their networks, perhaps in informal settings, to further disseminate the prevention messaging and the aha moments and the things that resonated with them through the trainings. And so through this intervention of interactive sessions to be delivered by young people, the program seeks to positively influence young people with their behaviors, their normative beliefs, their attitudes, their perceptions of risk, as was discussed just a little before, and really help them to recognize some of the risk and protective factors that they might be exposed to within their environments, in their surroundings. Also learn how to critically think about and reflect about the information that they're exposed to from the media. Also, another big thing that comes up is how do you act in situations of pressure, which sometimes is brought up as a challenge in young people. And because finally prevention is about the development in the person and building resilience in the person, we hope that through this sort of peer mechanism, this mentorship guidance approach, that the peer leaders will help their fellow peers on how to visualize and how to adopt strategies to help them develop, not just personally, but perhaps also academically, socially, to reach their goals. And so currently the program is under development, and we are approaching this, doing this together with a global group of global experts that are obviously experts in prevention science, also that have lots of experience in working with youth and for youth. But more importantly, because this is a program for youth to be used by youth, what's a program for youth without the youth input? So we also do have an active group of young people who are contributing also to the feedback process of the program. So we've involved them very early on in the development stages to hear their feedback, because it is our hope that this program will be understandable, relatable, but also importantly deliverable by young people to their friends. And then also I was explaining earlier that evidence-based aspect is key also to the program. So once a prototype of the program is available, we will be pilot testing it in various sites around the world. For now, for this year, we have the plans of pilot testing it in Central Asia and Southeastern Europe. But we hope that once the Friends of Focus program is finalized, materialized, that we do have further interest and support for pilot testing it in other places as well. So with Friends in Focus, we hope that it will be a tool that is helpful for young people who are looking for ways to be active in prevention, in helping their friends, their peers, by availing this evidence-based peer-to-peer package for them that is meant to have a multiplier effect within schools and their communities. And here's like a diagram of it, but we feel that with the right tools, the right trainings, the resource, and the support, youth can contribute to a more positive environment for themselves, for their families, for their friends, for their peers, through meaningful participation. And actually this reminds me of how the youth forum participants of this year, when they were addressing the plenary of CND, through their draft joint statement, they actually ended their statement by saying, if you don't mind that I say that, passion moves hearts, support moves hands. We have the passion, the heart, and the hands. So give us the support and change will happen. And so I think that their words very clearly indicates their willingness, also their readiness in being involved in prevention efforts, and to be those change makers in their communities. And so just to close out my presentation, I think the main takeaways would be that prevention works, evidence-based prevention that is, and that youth do have a role to play in prevention, just besides being just the end receivers of a program, they can also be taking part in contributing to the process, to the implementation as well. And for that, it's very important to work together. And here on the right, you have the QR code for the new website of Friends in Focus, which is very, very new. We just had it up in time for Sandy that I'm very glad about, but you will find more information there if you're interested in learning more about this program. That would be it from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Suong, for the brilliant presentation about your project that you've been doing in the UNODC. Yeah, I think most of us agree that peers and families, peers especially, are very helpful in terms of preventing and curing the ones who have been misusing drugs and alcohol. So yeah, the project that you've been doing sounds very helpful to those who are in need. Moving on to the rehabilitation community, the CENACOLO-project by Mr. George Schwarz. Thank you for joining us here. And we also have Mr. Rainer Vogerli, who would be assisting and translating for Mr. George Schwarz. This project is targeted towards young people in crisis situation, especially drug problems, the opportunity to make a new start. Please, the floor is yours.
Ja, ein herzliches Grüß Gott. Ich freue mich, dass ich da sein darf.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here today with you.
Ich möchte mich entschuldigen, ich bin kein English Speaker.
I want to ask sorry because I don't speak English.
In comunità parliamo italiano oder sonst Deutsch.
In community we speak Italian or German.
Ich lebe im Burgenland, das ist nicht 50 Kilometer von hier.
I live in Burgenland. It's a region, it's like 50 kilometers from here.
Mit 30 jungen Burschen, die alle schwierige Vergangenheit haben, Drogen, Alkohol, Internetsucht.
With 30 young people who have problems with drugs, alcohol, but also the internet is a huge theme.
Und ich bin sehr dankbar, dass ich da sein darf. Danke für die Einladung, weil es sehr schön ist, von dieser wunderbaren Geschichte zu erzählen.
And I'm very grateful to be here today and happy to explain and tell you about our story.
Auch wenn das Ambiente hier für mich sehr ungewohnt ist.
It's an unusual surrounding here.
Für mich ein bisschen wie ein Außerirdischer.
I feel like a little bit like an alien.
Aber ich bin sehr glücklich, weil es einfach schön ist, wenn junge Menschen, die tot sind, wieder leben.
But I'm so happy because I find it really beautiful to see young people who are dead and they come back to life.
Und was Mutter Elvira begonnen hat, unsere Mama Elvira, eine italienische Ordensschwester,
And what Mother Elvira started with her life,
das versuchen wir heute weiterzuleben.
we try to carry on.
Die Mutter Elvira hat erkannt, das Problem der jungen Menschen ist im Herzen.
Mother Elvira recognized in the young people that the real problem it's in their hearts.
Die Traurigkeit, der Zorn, die Konfusion, die Überforderung.
Sadness and be like overwhelmed with life.
Und sie hat danach gesucht, wie kann ich es schaffen, diesen Menschen wieder Lebensfreude zu geben.
And she asked herself, how can I help these young people to find again the joy in life?
Denn wenn wir glücklich sind, wenn wir Freude haben, dann brauchen wir keine Drogen, brauchen wir uns nicht betrinken.
Well, if we are happy in life, we don't need alcohol, we don't need drugs, we don't need all these substances.
Und deswegen ist das Ganze ein Prozess, der von Kind auf passiert. Wenn wir es nicht schaffen, dass die Menschen einen Halt bekommen und Freude haben, dann werden sie anfällig für Drogen und so weiter.
And that is mostly a process which starts in the youth. You know, when you're a young kid, then you have to have the support.
Und die Gemeinschaft möchte so ein Platz sein und ist so ein Platz inzwischen in 70 Häusern auf der ganzen Welt, eine Selbsthilfegruppe.
And the community is one of these places. Now we have like 70 settlements all over the world who helps young people to come back to life.
Das Schöne ist, du kommst dorthin und kannst endlich der sein, der du bist, ein Mensch, der Hilfe braucht.
And the beauty is like that when you come there, you can be the person who you really are. You can.
Du musst dir keine Masken aufsetzen. Du bist der du bist. Ein Mensch, der einfach unzufrieden ist.
You don't need to be someone who is expected to be. You can be just normal yourself.
Und diese Gruppe, das Miteinanderleben wie eine Familie.
And this living together like a family in Cenacolo,
das gibt dir wieder Kraft. Du findest wieder Selbstvertrauen, du findest zur Menschenwürde wieder zurück.
this gives you strength and you go back to your reality.
Weil nämlich die Droge und der Alkohol, ich war selber 15 Jahre abhängig, nimmt dir die ganze Lebensfreude. Du bist einfach verzweifelt, traurig, zornig.
Myself, I was like 15 years an alcoholic and I experienced the same thing. It takes away all the joy in life and you're just sad.
Und wir probieren durch das Miteinanderleben auf ganz einfache Art und Weise, ganz einfach miteinander leben lernen. Das ist unser Konzept.
And we try just to live a simple life all together like a family, and that's actually the thing which helps us to come back.
Wenn du zu uns kommst, motiviere von Anfang an, vertraut dir 100%ig, du kannst es schaffen. Die Basis ist dieses Vertrauen.
And the base on all this is the trust. You know, Mother Elvira always said to us, when you come to us, you have 100% trust.
Du bleibst nicht stehen an deinen Versagen, sondern du schaust mit Hoffnung nach vorne.
This gives you like hope for the future. If you see that somebody trusts in you again, it gives you hope again to restart.
Und deswegen sind bei uns nicht nur Süchtige, sondern Menschen, die auf der Suche sind, die Lebensfreude haben. Es ist eine Lebensschule.
And that's the reason why there's not just alcohol and drug people with problems. There is also people who have other problems because it's a school of life.
Damit wir es schaffen, das, was in unserem Herzen ist, ins Leben umzusetzen.
That we can transform what we have in our hearts into our lives.
Und dazu musst du den Menschen vertrauen und bereit sein, die Ärmel hochzukrempeln.
And therefore you have to trust in people and you have to take off your sleeves and work.
Denn wir haben so viel Theorie gehört bei uns in unserer Vergangenheit.
We listen to so many people who have like theoretical solutions for the problems.
Und in der Sucht geht es viel um Lüge, Lüge, Lüge.
And in our addiction, it's a lot of lies and lies and lies.
Und bei uns ist das super, weil wir sind alle gleich. Wir sind alle aus dieser Vergangenheit. Das heißt, die Therapie ist die Gemeinschaft selbst.
And the good thing is that all members are from the same past. So the solution is like living together with the experience we have with each other.
Das ist natürlich ein Weg, der manchmal herausfordernd ist, auch sogar manchmal unbequem.
And sometimes it's really difficult to live this kind of lifestyle.
Aber du bist nicht alleine auf diesem Neubeginn. Es begleitet dich einer. Ein Schutzengel, sagen wir. Wenn einer Neuer dazukommt, ist einer, der mit dir geht.
But the good thing is you're never alone. And at the beginning of community, when you enter in community, you have a guardian angel who helps you to enter this lifestyle and he is always with you.
Denn eine Veränderung ist immer auch Leid und Opfer. Es ist manchmal hart, viele Tränen. Es ist ein harter Weg, da rauszukommen.
Because to change the life is always like a hard way, and sometimes you have tears in your eyes and sometimes you won't give up and sometimes it's difficult.
Und da brauchst du gute Freunde, die dir zur Seite stehen.
And therefore you need good friends who are close to you and help you to go.
Und diese Freundschaft kannst du nicht kaufen, die brauchst du vom Herzen, von innen heraus, dass jemand da ist für dich.
And this friendship you cannot buy anywhere. You need that from the heart of the people.
Und es ist schön zu sehen, dass die Menschen, die zu uns kommen, dann wieder werden, der Rainer wird es jetzt erzählen, wieder selbstständig werden, Familienväter, Ehemänner werden, wieder eine Zukunft haben. Diese Hoffnung wird real.
And it's nice to see that people like me, when you come and he could observe how the life changes from an addict to now a family father.
Und du brauchst jemanden, wo du eine Hoffnung siehst im Konkreten. Wenn die Neuen dazukommen, die sehen, ja, der war auch süchtig und heute ist er ein zufriedener Mann und das gibt dir Motivation.
And that's part of this hope we were speaking before, that you can see this hope, you know, people who get over it and then have a normal life and get children and married.
Denn unser Weg dauert natürlich sehr lange, manchmal ein paar Jahre, um einmal wegzukommen von der alten Mentalität und die Schönheit des Guten wieder lernen.
And our way, it's not a short way. Mostly it takes years, you know, to come back to life.
Diese Freude, wenn du das Gute tust, wie schön das ist.
To understand that when you do good, that you feel this joy in yourself too.
Denn du suchst ja die Freude vielleicht mit Droge oder mit Alkohol. Du willst dich irgendwie das Gute erreichen, ohne einen Weg zu gehen.
Mostly the young people try to, through alcohol and drugs, find the joy.
Und wir versuchen eben gemeinsam das Leben wieder aufzubauen, nicht destruktiv, sondern konstruktiv wieder miteinander vorwärts zu gehen.
And together we try to rebuild the lives again in community.
Und wie kann ich am besten etwas vermitteln?
And how can I do that best?
Vorbild sein, Vorbild sein, Vorbild sein.
always to be an example.
Wenn ich
Example,
möchte, dass meine
example,
Kinder
example.
lachen, dann muss ich selber ein Mensch sein, der lacht.
If I want my children to smile, I have to smile first.
Wenn ich möchte, dass die Menschen um mich herum ehrlich sind, muss ich auch selber ehrlich
If I
sein.
want to be the people around me honest, I have to be honest.
Und deswegen ist der Weg manchmal ein bisschen unbequem.
And that's the reason why sometimes it's really
Aber sehr
uncomfortable.
effizient, denn die Burschen, die merken dann oder auch die Mädchen, es gibt ein gutes Leben, es gibt ein hoffnungsvolles Leben und es gibt eine Freude.
But through this testimony, the young people see that there is joy and there is hope and life can be different.
Und das taugt mir, weil das wünsche ich mir für die ganze Welt.
And I like that so much because I would wish that the whole world.
Ich träume von vielen solchen Häusern, wo junge Menschen wieder diese Lebensfreude entdecken.
My dream is like having so many communities where young people come back to
Denn
life.
wenn wir heiter und gelassen und mit Freude an die Arbeit gehen, ist das Produkt ein ganz anderes.
Because if we go with joy and to work, the result will be much different than it's now.
Und Mutter Elvira hat ihr Leben gegeben, damit eben viele Menschen wieder diese Lebensfreude entdecken können.
And Mother Elvira gave her life for that young people can find their lives again.
Dankeschön.
Thank you. So, my name is Rana. I'm now 40 years old, and I started with 12 years to consume cannabis and very soon also harder drugs. And with 22 years of age, I was so desperate that I came to community and asked for help. Going a little bit back, when I was a child, my parents got divorced when I was very little. And through my childhood, I suffered a lot this separation. I always desired my father home, but he was never there. And as Georg said, for me, the first answer when I smoked my first joint, I felt like I can forget all my problems and my difficulties. And for a moment, I feel like joy. But always when the effect of the drugs went away, it was always worse. So before I came to community, I had an overdose where I almost lost my life. I'm from a not Catholic family. And when I came to community, I saw these young people all, it's a Catholic community, so they're all praying and working, and there's like a nice structure, daily structure. But I said, I do everything, but I don't want to pray. I don't want to know anything about God, church, or whatever. And it took me quite a while to see that through this trust in God, people get joy. So what Georg said just now, if people run to work with a smile, that's what I was observing. I came to community and I saw these young people, all of them with drug problems. But in the morning, they got up at 6 in the morning and they run to change their clothes to go to their work, you know. And I was asking myself, when did I smile the last time? You know, I couldn't even remember when I really smiled because I was happy. And I saw this example and I desired to be a happy person too again. So I was very lucky because in community we have so many houses and I was moved many times, so I could see many different places and I could meet people from all over the world, which is a huge gift to live together and sometimes even arguing together, but you learn all about different cultures and different people. And through my walk, usually the community says you do like 3 years. It's like this magic number, which is for everybody different a little bit. Me personally, it took me many years to really understand the pain I had inside and also to accept myself for what I did in my past and also to accept my parents for how they are and what they did. But then after, I also decided I want to stay in community a little bit longer because, as Georg said, I found joy in seeing people coming destroyed and going back to life, you know, observing that kind of process with so many young people. It gave me so much joy and I felt happy, you know, like after a couple of years, then I also had the gift to start a mission in Liberia for children in Africa, where again, seeing the small children when they're on their knees and they pray for their parents or father in jail or mother died because of HIV, I felt God very close, you know, it gave me so much joy to know that, you know, God is working, starting with the small children. And there I could also see that God was working also in my life before, because whatever I did wrong or bad things, my mom always was there. She was saying, you're a good person, you know, you can change your life, you're a good person. And today I think God's first voice to me was through my mom. And I also had the luck that I met my wife in community. I got married in community, and our first daughter is born in Italy in community. And now we are like 3 years ago, we came back to Austria. And then our second daughter is born. Now we live in Austria. We are not anymore in community, but we always come to community because it's our family. And we are so happy, you know, to be part of that. And I'm so happy that I could meet Mother Elvira personally. Her joy and her eyes gave me so much hope. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George Schwarz and Mr. Rainer Vogelli for sharing your personal experience and how you got through it. It is, you really set an example, a hope for people who are willing to change. Yeah, it is honestly remarkable and how long you have come along and something to be proud of. And the time is running out. So I'd quickly like to call upon our final speaker for today. She is from Philippines. Her name is Blessie Ramos. She will also join us online. So Blessie, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yeah. So I'll start already because we do not have time anymore. I hope you can hear me clearly. So good day, esteemed members of the Women's Federation for World Peace, the United Nations Commission on Narcotic Drugs, and distinguished guests, people who are in the Zoom and face-to-face. My name is Blessie Ramos, and I stand before you today as the president of the International Association of Youth and Student for Peace, IAYSP Pilipinas, La Union chapter in the Philippines, to share our efforts in empowering youth against substance abuse and promoting a drug-free society. So we have here leadership seminars and pure love education. Education plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of our youth. That's why at IAYSP, we conduct pure love education and leadership seminars in schools. These seminars are designed to provide young people with the knowledge and skills they need to make informed decisions about their lives. Through these programs, we aim to instill in our youth the values of purity, fidelity, and responsible decision-making. By equipping them with the tools to navigate life's challenges, we empower them to become leaders in their own right. Our collaboration with local authorities is crucial in ensuring the success of these programs. Together, we provide guidance and support to young people, helping them avoid pitfalls such as teenage pregnancy, excessive alcohol consumption, drug misuse, and related criminal activities. By investing in education and leadership development, we not only prevent negative outcomes, but also nurture a generation of responsible and empowered individuals who will contribute positively to society. Next, we also have environmental activities. In addition to our focus on pure love education, IAYSP is committed to environmental care. We organize tree planting and cleanup drive activities to promote environmental sustainability and ensure a clean and safe earth for future generations. Next, we also have community outreach programs. Our efforts extend beyond education and environmental care to community outreach. Through gift giving and food feeding programs, we aim to bring joy and nourishment to children in need. These activities not only provide immediate assistance, but also cultivate sense of compassion and empathy among our youth. I am proud to share that our initiatives have had a positive impact on our community in the Philippines. We have received heartwarming testimonials from participants who have expressed gratitude for the opportunities and support provided by IAYSP. These stories serve as a testament of the transformative power of our programs. As we gather here today under the theme of strengthening resilience in young people towards the misuse of alcohol and drugs, I am reminded of the profound impact our actions can have on the lives of others. Peace, as we know, starts within ourselves by empowering our youth with the tools and values they need to make positive choices. We are laying the foundation for a brighter and a drug-free future. So in closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Women's Federation for World Peace and for inviting me to share our work together. Let us continue to collaborate and support one another in our efforts to empower youth and create a more peaceful and drug-free society. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Blessie, for sharing your work in such a short span of time. It is very motivating that you are working in such project from very young age. Since the time is already over, we cannot interact with the audience. My apologies, but thank you so much for joining. Your participants is very valued, and thank you to our esteemed panelists for sharing about their work, your experiences, and also your projects. You can also have maybe you have these sheets on your table. You can look into each panelist and keep up with their work. And thank you for joining once again in this early morning. Have a nice day.